neighbors, it's Sako Tumi, also known as Cass Voit, and welcome to a random coffee chatty thing. And I have a special guest, R.C. Scott.
What up, folks?
Woo! Welcome back. Mint Ghost is here. Yo, yo, yo. I can't tell if I'm hot or cold. That is unfortunate.
I got to out myself real fast. I was sitting in that studio for a few minutes like, is she coming back on here? I'm like, oh, wait a minute. She posted the Discord. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm awake now.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. My Google Foo is lacking today.
Yeah, my stuff's moving slow over here too. I was trying Bing, that was frozen. Then I went to Google.
Oh shit! I just clicked a thing and I didn't mean to. No, leave me alone. Fuck this.
Yep. It's usually how it ends for me. Those two words. Fuck this.
Fuck this.
Fuck this shite.
Are you nerdy?
Am I nerdy?
That is the subject of a Google thing. Get to know you questions, 10 questions to ask a geek. Are you nerdy? 15 questions for the fresh nerd.
It's such a vast, word right there. Are you a comic book nerd? Are you a sci-fi nerd? Are you an actual science nerd, a gaming nerd?
I am all of those things.
I'd say my nerdom stretches to film, mostly horror, comic books too. I used to nerd out hard about Greek mythology, Roman tied in there, Scandinavian mythology, Celtic.
I'm confused. Are you gonna show me the thing that I guess not. Okay.
What you trying to search?
I am looking for questions to spur conversation.
How did you get into metal?
How did I get into metal? She was my best friend and the lead singer of a metal band called The Sound of Thunder. And hi, cool gamer. And
what up?
I followed them around because I was their photographer and their graphic designer for a short time. And they kind of turned me on to power metal. And power metal is kind of my sweet spot. I love power metal.
Halloween.
And I appreciate some proggy stuff, but the more proggy, the weirder it gets. And I am familiar with some more of the more mainstream stuff because I almost married a musician who played in that genre. So I went to every show. I went to every rehearsal. I was a band girlfriend.
And yet he listened to mainstream stuff. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, got it.
So that is how I was exposed to like some more of the mainstream stuff. Hi, D Gray.
What up, D Gray Man?
Woo! Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat. Hope you got your coffee or your preferred drink of choice.
I switched from coffee to water.
I have graduated from coffee to water. Because if I'm going to drink a diuretic, I better drink twice the amount of water in order to continue to function as a human being.
Yeah, I mean, like most things dehydrate you, whether it be coffee or caffeine. You got to have some water afterwards. Otherwise, when it wears off, you're going to dead and fucking, have a headache.
You're going to feel like garbage. Yeah.
But for me, it started way back, Headbangers Ball days.
Oh, right on.
I remember Headbangers Ball. That wasn't when I got into it, but that was my introduction. You had bands like, Megadeth was on there all the time, Anthrax, Suicidal Tendencies, Pantera, Sepultura was on there a little bit, and I was like, that's kind of cool. But I think the first metal song I ever heard was One by Metallica, and I was watching the video too, and I was like 5. Like even then, I'm like, oh my god, that is the most depressing thing I've ever seen, because it was like clips from that. What was that World War I movie? Johnny Got His Gun. When he was, that's where they based it off of. When he was pretty much a lump of meat in a hospital bed.
I can totally respect resetting addictions.
Yes.
2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I can't remember. Actually, about a month ago now. I reset all of my addictions as well. And I cut down on my coffee, I cut down on my cigarettes, I cut down on my OCD. So it was trying. It was pretty much all I was doing was managing my OCD while I was detoxing from all this stuff.
See, I was never a big coffee drinker until I started this job where, you kind of have to be geeked out just to keep up with the pace. Before then, it was tea. I'd have one here and there if I was really tired or back in the day hungover. But it messes with, all my, OCD, ADHD. If I have 1 cup or even half a cup too many, my brain just goes scattered like sticking a mirror in front of a laser. Can't focus on anything. And just, anxiety, irritable. So I got myself to 1 good strong cup in the morning, and I switched to herbal tea or water or whatever, or something light, like a Coke.
Something light. Yeah. I can handle up to 2 cups. I should have only 1 and then switch to water. And I got this just 2 days ago, so I'm super hyped.
What kind of coffee you drink?
I prefer I'm trying to remember the name of the company, and I'm out of it, so I can't read the pod in order to, but it's organic, and it's gourmet as well, so I'm kind of anal about my coffee in that regard.
Pun intended. Dark roast, but
I like dark roast too.
Valhalla is my number 1. It's
right on.
It's an offshoot of a Death Wish, but I usually have some kind of. I try not to mess with Starbucks. Any kind of regular dark roast ground, just in a jar somewhere. Just when I run out of my good stuff, I have fall.
Oh, you have a backup.
Yeah, because my addiction is at least to that level. I have to have at least 1 cup in the morning, otherwise I'm dead. Not to mention, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, I'm usually working a 12-hour shift.
So coffee time.
Yep. I can't do energy drinks because just it hits me too hard, and I just become like Sonic the Hedgehog. But
I cannot do the fake sugars.
no, they're worse for you too.
That is the downside. Is I cannot do fake sugars. So energy drinks are out.
I think Bang is sugar free.
It's the sugar-free part. They put in a fake sugar because they still want it to be sweet.
That sucks. But
So
my heart goes out to the D Gray home and the caffeine-free lifestyle they live. I've quit coffee a couple times, and yeah, those couple of days.
it's the first couple of days are hard. And with any addiction, the first couple of days are the hardest. Like you hit day 3 and you're like,
You start feeling better though.
But after that, the craving starts to subside and your reliance on the subject becomes a lot less tight.
I think that's why you shouldn't quit cold turkey. Kind of wean yourself off, make weaker cups, switch to like I don't know, green tea, just lighten it up until water.
I went from 2 packs a day to 1 cigarette a day. And that was really hard. That was super hard. Yeah, aspartame, sucralose, all bad for you. I have my concerns even on the new stuff like stevia. Fake sweeteners seem to keep doing weird stuff even if no calories and carbs. I have a false diabetic reaction when it comes to fake sugars. So I will get a massive headache and then I will black out no matter where I am. I had a 5-hour energy once and I blacked out in the middle of Old Town Alexandria in the middle of the street.
Damn.
And I don't do fake sweeteners ever since.
Even like regular sugar is so bad for you. Like,
I do regular sugar. I prefer raw if I can get it. It's a lot easier on my system, and a little bit goes a long way, and stuff like that.
yeah. Even when I talk about sugar, it's I'm an addict with it. I put a little bit in my coffee, but I got to have my ice cream occasionally, some donuts or whatever. So I can never cut that up forever.
Yeah. Cutting back is one thing, but like cutting forever is another story.
Nope.
Teach Mama that she needs to quit smoking. I recommend going like stepping down, and I recommend having like a fidget spinner or like a fidget toy of some kind to occupy your hands while you detox for those first 3 days. That is my advice.
I quit smoking cigarettes back in September of 2020, and
straws. Like drinking anything from a straw will help the oral fixation.
But now I vape like a fiend. Cheaper, smells better, tastes better.
Mm-hmm. We cut soda weeks ago, so the caffeine use was cut in half. Now coffee is out, not even decaf. Oh, wow, not even decaf.
Proud of you, friend.
That is... So you are also purging the reliance on the flavor. So I can totally respect that.
Do you think, kind of like how hard drugs cut out the dopamine, do you think drinking caffeine daily for years kind of cuts out your natural drive, your natural energy? You kind of have to like bring it back slowly?
You have to bring it back slowly because your mind becomes reliant on it. And you can start when you start to have withdrawal symptoms, right? When you don't get your fix. So just like with any drug. So caffeine is the least harmful sort of kinda, because if you have too much, your heart can like freak out, which isn't great.
Yeah, and just like a fix, if you stop for a while and go back to it, like that first cup or two is just complete euphoria.
At work, she can go 6 or 7 hours. That is not bad. That is not bad. That you can go 6 or 7 hours without smoking a cigarette or without caffeine. My habit was every 2 hours.
See, I got to be easy with it because it hits my mind different. Like I'll be dead tired at night, but my mind's still racing from the caffeine. Like I have to cut myself off before like noon. Otherwise, I'll be up at 3 in the morning, laying in my bed, just vibrating like fuck, thinking
Yeah.
every single thing, dissecting every single thought.
On Wednesday nights, I have to have a cup of coffee in the evening, or else I will not be conscious during game. But I'm up all night, so after game at midnight or my time, like I am open for hangouts if they want to hang out after game. Cut back on diet soda. Ooh. And we cut out a lot of sweets too. It's been hard. Still drinking caffeine, but I have to have it or I'll sleep all day. Yeah. Mint Ghost also has sleeping disorders. So I totally get the having one vice that you can kind of like bank on. When you quit drinking, for instance, they kind of recommend that you take up something like smoking because it's easier to quit smoking than it is to quit drinking.
I disagree.
I disagree too. It is not the hardest thing I've ever done. Quitting opiates was the hardest I've ever done. Though withdrawal from Cymbalta because I didn't renew my prescriptions fast enough, that is easily the worst withdrawal symptoms I've ever experienced. And I used to have a problem with opiates.
I think benzo withdrawal and alcohol withdrawal are like the deadliest. Like what was it Xanax? They prescribe that for anxiety and all that shit, and like people will get stuck on it. They're too scared to withdraw because it can kill you.
Because it can kill you. Yeah, exactly. Can't relate. We're drinking coffee and eating Christmas cookies. Yay! We met without a smoke. Caffeinates with coffee and Coca-Cola. Right on. I smoke cloves on top of it, so it's like even worse for you. But I'm addicted to I was addicted before I purged everything. I was addicted to the whole act of it, the whole ritual of it, the schedule of it, the oral fixation, the sweetened papers, the taste of the smoke, and like the whole thing was like every aspect of smoking was what I was addicted to, and I didn't realize that until I really cut it from my diet.
You really took me back with the clove cigarettes. Just I've had friends in the goth community since I was a teenager, and
Yeah,
sitting around Denny's at 3 a.m., chain smoking cloves, drinking gallons of coffee, and telling dead baby jokes. That was me in high school.
that was me too.
Hell yeah.
Fist bump. Hi, Eva. Welcome back. Oh, hi again. Rachel says, caffeine is my one vice. I prefer coffee. My PCP swears I have undiagnosed ADHD, as my kids also have it. So she says that's probably my method of handling it. I got you. Aw, thank you. Like,
I'm proud of you too.
aw. So as soon as I cut back on everything else, except for my prescriptions, I took my prescriptions as directed. But all the vices, I cut back on, and then my OCD was like, yo, it's been a while since we hung out. Let's pull every hair from your body and like make it like make you bald in every possible place you could possibly be bald. And I to not pull is really hard. When the anxiety goes up, the OCD kind of slips in, and I start counting, and I start like I have to snap my fingers 7 times, and I have to do that 3 times without screwing up. And if I screw it up, then something terrible will happen. And I also pull out all my hair. So yay for neurodivergence.
I was gonna ask me how many times I checked to see if my alarm's set, or if I locked the door, or if I, make sure to turn this off. Oh shit, I gotta go back outside and check. I know I checked it twice already.
I know I checked this twice already, but like, did I really do it? Like, do I remember actually doing it?
It's creature of ritual. I'm definitely one of those.
Creature of habit.
But with my habit was alcohol. Definitely before 21, hanging out with the wrong people, just slamming 40s, all the cheap stuff. Got older and started going to the bars. By then, I was already an expert. And I guess the stuff you're seeing me right now was basically shit I've been carrying inside forever, and didn't know what to do with it, so I just numbed it.
Yeah, I feel you. Getting health in hand, it seems. I do try. I do have a lot of unhealthy. I did have a lot of unhealthy behaviors and unhealthy habits, and I definitely try to keep them in check.
I think a lot of it comes down to your thought patterns and what leads you down the road to, wanting that fix or wanting that drink or whatever. And, that's because what made you want it before, this old familiar roads. I kind of see the mind as like a snow hill. You're sledding down it and sledding down the same path, and it creates a groove. And whenever you try to go down and make a new path, you keep sliding into those old ones. You've got to keep working and making new grooves somewhere else. But yeah, those old familiar places. That's, the first trigger or cue or whatever.
Right. Eva cut caffeine but still have nicotine on the list of vices. Cut THC but brought it back after realizing it wasn't the problem. I also cut back on my THC in that I was getting high every day, and I felt like that was too often, because like I would work my shift during the day, and then after work I would get high and accomplish nothing for the rest of the day. And I'm not comfortable with that. So maybe once a week, maybe once a month, like same with my drinking. I don't drink right after work anymore. It's like once a month.
Well, with THC, I think it's meant for giving you a chance to step out of yourself and examine things. I mean, I could say the same thing about psilocybin, but more an extreme therapeutic level. And but it also takes you to the subconscious, kind of gets you close to the veil of the dream world. And if you're a chronic daydreamer, which I've always been, it's addictive. You just want to keep going there because you get just more. What's what I'm looking for? It's just more intoned, I guess, where you just like you're more connected. But at the same time, if you have attention problems, it is a double-edged sword. Your mind either floats or it concentrates. So like constantly going back to, not only do you develop a tolerance, you got to smoke more, but
right.
You're spending too much time in the dream state. You got to get out and move.
I do not find THC to be the kind of high in which I can reach gnosis. Like when you get in a trance and you're in that that place between wake and sleep.
Right.
That is the mindset that you have to be in that you should be in when you do witchcraft.
I've been looking into that recently, and I know a lot of people use hallucinogenics and stuff like that, but I think that's too much. It's like bringing a shotgun to a knife fight. But I mean, maybe microdosing, because you do have to have, like, if you're doing a ritual to start everything up, you got to have a keen mind on that. You don't want to fuck up.
You don't. Well, my dream world, when I astral project and stuff like that, like I am very conscious. I am very alert. I'm very aware of what is going on around me and what it is I am doing. So I don't like the lack of control that I get with certain kinds of high. There are a lot of like hedge writing salves that have mugwort in them, and mugwort is toxic. So I'm like, kind of don't want any with mugwort in it. I know that's
right.
Like the wormwood, sure. I will handle the wormwood just fine. But yeah.
Wormwood makes me jittery and weird, like feeling
really?
weird. And so, like, maybe it was, I tried an absinthe, and it was, the one bottle I had. But back to the whole, getting, NOS or whatever. With some people, well, at least with THC, it's a gateway to the imagination. And I think humanity's most powerful tool, but at the same time, it can flip on you and turn into quicksand, where you're spending so much time daydreaming about, like, what the next novel you want to write, winning the lottery, or hooking up with that object of your affection, but you're spending so much time in that dream, you don't take the certain steps of getting there. And if you're sitting there
There is that.
high all day,
There is that. There are also those of us that disassociate. So, like, when you disassociate, you kind of like retreat back into your dream world. And when I was in high school, it was not a very nice place to be. But it was nicer to be there than here. And I kind of gave it, when I was in my 30s or so, I gave it a revamp, and it became a nicer place to be. And I now do my witchcraft there. So I don't retreat there when I don't want to cope with things anymore. Like that is a benefit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's why, like, it could be a safe space, but it would also be, a place you hide.
I went from daily to never for about 5 months or so, but I started using it for a reason, and it was go back or add another med, and I opted for the devil's lettuce. Yeah. For one, it's more affordable, usually, depending on where you live and what you're buying. And also, the other med can make you a zombie, depending on what it is that you are prescribed. So I totally get the idea of medicating yourself with the devil's lettuce.
Do you like edibles?
I have to be wary with them. I feel like if I'm just smoking the weed, it is I can like gauge what it is I am doing in the amount that I am taking. Like I can actually like say, this is how much I'm going to smoke tonight. As opposed to edibles, in which case, like, my addiction to food is just like, eat all the things. And that is a bad idea when I'm like high.
Edibles don't work on me.
Oh yeah.
I guess my stomach's missing the proper enzyme, but yeah, my buddy up on the north side, he has one of those infusion cafes where they put in like coffee, pastries, and all that jazz. And I told him for like, it don't work. You know, I don't know what it is. And he made a muffin for me that was like 1,200 milligrams. I ate the whole thing. You know, like an hour later, nope. It's like, oh my God.
That is
like
a
an OD
lot.
amount.
That is
Yeah.
a lot to blow on someone who doesn't, you know, experience it when it's cooked down.
Right. I just kept thinking like the whole next day, watch I get hurt at work and they want me to take a drug test. It's going to come out green.
My tolerance is really high for a high most times, to be honest. Yeah, my tolerance was getting higher and higher and higher, and I was like, no, I don't need to be smoking weed like Kibby smokes weed. And even she was inspired by me cutting back on cigarettes and smoking, so she started to cut back on smoking in general as well, which is really cool.
That is cool. For me, it's more of, you know, shifting gears towards, you know, not only working full time, but being a writer and working with people, networking. You don't want to do that high. You're not going to get anything done.
Yeah.
But I'm going to get some water real fast. I'll be right back.
All right. I'll be here. Use edibles for the maintenance I need for the medical part of things, and if I choke, that's for the fun parts. That is, especially if you're doing gummies or brownies or anything. Gummies specifically, like, depending on how you're getting them, they usually specify how many milligrams per gummy they are. So you can take part of the gummy or you can take the whole gummy, and you know, you generally have an idea of how much you're ingesting. I've never tried anything along the lines of shrooms or acid. Me either. I have a mushroom that is probably all dried out by now, that was gifted to me by a friend, and I never found the time or place that felt safe enough to do it. I kind of wish I had my blanket fort up so that I could experience it in my blanket fort, but Billy's the opposite. I get high too fast and I'll get sick and sleep for the rest of the day because I can't hack it. Yeah. I got you. But if that's what's happening, you might be allergic to it. So probably don't do that. It was a slow buildup. I rediscovered THC in my mid-30s. Yeah, me too. Actually, I was 40 when I rediscovered THC. I also learned that drinking while on THC I just can't. I shouldn't do it. I will sleep and I will take a full nap, which is like 3 hours, and then I don't understand language or concepts, or they're just things that I don't understand, and I try to analyze things in a way that don't benefit me in any way. Easier to get, yes.
Well, they don't mix well. I never thought. If I'm smoking, like back in the day, like, you know, smoking all day, and all of a sudden people are drinking, like, I don't feel like getting drunk tonight. I just want to eat some food and watch Beavis and Butthead. But if you're drinking, more than likely you're going to want to smoke someone's around, but you're going to regret it because, like, you're already on a different wavelength of consciousness, and you jump to that, it can backfire. You can get sick, pass out, or get really weird.
Yeah. I don't know if weird is the word, but like,
you feel funny.
Because you're neither drunk nor high, but you're both.
But it kind of feels like asymmetrical, I guess.
Yeah. Exactly. And it's hard to like gather like how much of one to the other the ratio of which you are doing it at the same time. I just avoid it altogether.
And also depends on setting. Say you're like a
That too.
concert or a comedy club.
Oh no, terrible idea.
Well,
Terrible.
comedy club, I wouldn't drink too much because then you're going to want to start making jokes with the comedian, and all of a sudden you're getting dragged out of there.
So something that my bestie didn't understand. So my bestie came after me because I was like taking 3-hour naps after I was on THC and drinking. And the last like 3 times we had hung out, we were both on THC and drinking. And she tried to tell me I was an alcoholic and that I needed to like take steps to not be an alcoholic, which is really funny coming from her because those are usually like I only see her at parties and drink parties, and I often drink at parties. So like I don't drink outside of parties very often. So it's kind of messed up that she called me an alcoholic.
Well, translation, she thinks she just has a drinking problem, thinks she needs help, and she's projecting it onto you. Like most of what we do when we're concerned, because most of what we're saying to a person is what we base off our own fucking imagination.
Yeah. So Eva did try it as a young adult, but most of the people I know from back then remember me being there and not partaking. Yeah, I was, and my first fiance was a drug dealer, a Korean drug dealer, and he, oh wow, I got it all scratched up. So I got weed for free, and it was all skunk weed, but I
none of that Bobby Brown barn floor shit.
It was and it's easier to get it. Yeah.
Well,
Illinois, so it's legal here.
Yeah, it's also ridiculously expensive. And the dispensaries are a joke. I mean, they're well, managed and definitely a lot of surveillance, but it's just unnecessary steps, for something so small. And it just shows you that it's not about what's right and making it legal. It's about making money off of it as much as you can.
It's about making money.
If you get popped off selling the same thing they sell there, it's basically bootlegging in jail. So
So what I wonder about Virginia. So it's legal to have in Virginia. You cannot buy it or sell it out in the open yet, and there are no dispensaries really. I think there are medical dispensaries that are showing up. But I think they're privately owned and not. I was thinking like, well, make them state owned, like the ABC store. You can't buy alcohol in Virginia, like hard alcohol in Virginia, unless it's at a state store.
I say take the state out of it. Let the market do the rest.
Well, it's one way to pay taxes is off the backs of alcoholics, I suppose.
Well, get rid of taxes then.
Oh, that would be ideal, but
I'm sorry, theft. But yeah, I'm all for everyone to open up their own little Tagri farms.
Not enough for a high, but just enough to tell me it's there. I could potentially be a placebo, but yeah, well, we're also, what a waste, RC.
I know, but he tried. Bless his heart for it. Good man. Hey, William, if you're out there.
made brownies for my friends and we were wiped out in the first 10 minutes. And then our landlord made a surprise visit and called the plumbers in to do some emergency work. So it was a crazy day.
Wow, that must have stunk up the whole building. I've never seen anybody make brownies in an apartment building for a house. Yeah.
As far as being able to get things done high, it really does vary too much to say either way with that. I'm pretty productive when I'm high because I get out of my head, which is time focused. Yeah. That's a fun story you'll all remember. Absolutely. I had to remove myself from the situation because it was so trippy. I won't tell you how I woke up, but it wasn't good. Oh. Yeah, I don't like the cross-faded vibe. Yeah. Being both high and tipsy, no way. I quit drinking, really. I don't not drink, but hangovers are not for me. Yeah.
I stopped getting hangovers after a while. I would just wake up and have a 24-hour long anxiety attack.
Oh, that sucks.
I think it was just the dehydration because I would just go at it like 2 days straight, forget to eat occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
Living life like I was on tour of Pantera every night.
Yeah, it amplifies my drunk, not my high. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I'm just not a fan. Beer and grass, and you're on your ass. Grass and beer, and you're in the clear. Oh, I've never heard that.
No, I've heard the liquor before beer one.
Mm-hmm. But for me, that alcohol wins the race in my body. Yeah. I was the one who would call friends out of school because I lived on my own since the age of 16. And one time someone had grown their own. It was a lot. It was a lot. So we each had our own cigars worth. Woo.
Damn, got a blunt.
It was awful and not great. It didn't really toke back then. And so I'm grateful, but it was hilarious at the time.
One thing I noticed about alcohol was just like trying to watch a new movie in general, but like a new horror film while you're drinking. Either you're not going to get into it, or you're going to think it sucks. You're not going to see the campiness in it. But THC though, you're a little more open to it. Like
I have to watch very specific stuff when I'm high. I can't watch a horror movie while I'm high. I won't understand what's going on.
I kind of have to these days. Like I watched Hereditary once, and I was barking, dude. I was gone, and I wanted to watch it again. I'm like, nah, it will never be as good as it was that one time I watched it. I don't know if I want to ruin it. Same thing with Color Out of Space with Nicolas Cage.
Ah,
Kenny.
Oh. Hi, Heather. Hi, Margaret.
Hey, Margaret.
Also, you stumbled through the roof into the witch's cottage. I welcome you with a cup of tea. Oh. Also, hello. When I was new to it, I didn't like speaking out loud while I was high. I felt very slow. My husband gets really chatty when he's up there, so it's kind of interesting because we both started smoking again at the same time, and we've gotten to know each other better in the last 2 or 3 months than 12 years.
Well, it makes you,
when he's sober, he's quiet.
When you're, doing it, it makes you feel and act more vulnerable. And that's when you lower your guard a lot more around people, especially if you're already comfortable around them.
At least people you're supposed to be comfortable around, I'm his goddamn wife. Ideally you would be comfortable around me,
Well, my experience with people, and I've never been married, so that level of comfortability, I've never experienced that yet, and I don't know what the hell I would do, because that would definitely have to lower more armor than I'd ever want to.
My husband has never tried THC. Maybe you recommend it. It does affect people differently, right? Different people differently, but like it's really helping my relationship with my husband.
I only recommend for anybody who's never done it, start very small. Even if you don't feel anything
Yes.
right away, like if you go too intense into it, it will wreck your mind. It will turn you off to it, and you'll get too much at once. It's kind of like start drinking for the first time. You want to go kill a bottle of Jack. You're not going to want to do that.
I like the title of the stream, by the way. Random chat. It is random chat. I've never tried. Someday he's down, but for now it's just not worth the risk of his employer. Oh, I get it.
Yeah, even in Illinois where it's legal, you can still get fired for failing a drug test handed on you. I think even with some places, they won't hire you if you're medically prescribed. Well, that's like, CDL jobs and shit like that.
Oh, for sure. For sure. They rarely test, but they regularly polygraph.
Wow.
I'm in DC, so if I were to go back to W-2 land, odds are very good I would be working for the government in some manner, and they won't. If you're honest about it during the polygraph, then it's not a big deal. But if you lie about it and they test you and they find out that you have it in your system, that's when you're in trouble.
That's horrible. A polygraph just to see if you've been doing drugs. Now, those things aren't 100% accurate either. I mean, yeah, they can get you down.
This sounds like not my discussion. He sometimes cigars, tobacco, but hasn't ever smoked cigarettes either. I don't know what he saw in me. I know the feeling.
Well, we all have to find our sweet oblivion somehow, whether it be by drink, by smoke, gambling, sex. I'm just, but at the same time, too much of anything.
Disassociation. I watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, high as a kite in Massachusetts cinema. That was terrifying. Then the second time I watched it, I was at home, also high. I can't even tell you the plot. I tried to watch Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back 3 times.
Love that movie.
And I couldn't remember the plot like ever. So I had to watch it sober in order to understand what the hell that movie's about.
I got one for you. Was it 15 years old? When The Sixth Sense came out in 99, 15 years old, I was still new to the game. And I went in there just completely zooted. I just never freaked out so hard in a movie theater before. That movie had me tweaking.
I have to agree with Eva that my sense of taste and texture and temperature and like everything that involves eating is like amplified. So I appreciate things more.
Especially if you live in a city where there's a lot of good food.
Oh, for sure. I live in the DC metro area, so food here is amazing.
Yeah, Chicago food's pretty good too. I've been to many places. It's really good.
Yeah, Chicago is probably some of the best food I've had, but it's all been junk food.
Yeah, it's all meat and cheese, basically.
It's all meat and cheese.
What's DC cuisine like?
Barbecue, because we got both Maryland and Virginia, like, crowding around DC. So barbecue is a big deal and we make all of our own sausage. So like sausages in the DC area are like half smokes and stuff like that. you can't find anywhere else. So like some of the best barbecue I've ever had was here. And I've been to like all across the South for
Memphis.
barbecue. Yeah. And Memphis barbecue is better in Virginia than it is in Memphis.
Really?
Yeah.
That's,
Hey,
Memphis barbecue is amazing.
my cat
Kansas
is
City
like,
too.
Kansas City, I want to appreciate it, but like again, I like Virginia's take on Kansas City better than I like Kansas City.
Is it more sauce based or dry rub?
It depends. You can have it either way, and most of the places here will like you get to choose. So I will.
Well, I just noticed like some place like Memphis, the places I've been to are more dry rub, meats, and like Nashville, Kansas City, they like their sausage, and sausage, and I like both. But I guess I'm more sausage. Yeah, I got a little bit of an accent here. I guess I go with dry rub more because it just gets in the meat more. I don't know. They both have their place. It's hard to pick.
Also, root beer float sounds awesome.
Bar's root beer.
Google tells me Call of Duty League does not compute. That's funny. Oh, yeah. He doesn't lie. We're both open books. I just talk a lot and he's quiet. It's usually the other way around for us. I am usually the quiet one, and then he chats about work and soccer. And I think that's about it. Hi, Jesus Christ himself. How's it going? Also, Class C driver's license?
What?
Yes, you. Well, so saith your name. So
he has risen.
He has risen. 'Tis the season, I suppose. Happy birthday, by the way.
You know you're born in spring.
We can swap the vibe if this one isn't for you, Margaret. The chat is random. Yes.
Yes.
Also, don't block Jesus yet. I want to see where this goes.
Yeah, you can't hate on somebody for the people that followed him.
You
Jesus trolls.
I actually I did a 6-page comic that I am working on, where in 2008 during the recession I had a conversation with Jesus and kind of tell him my problems and kind of we converse in that God doesn't subscribe to Buddhists, and I kind of judged Jesus on the people who follow him like feverishly, and we kind of come to an understanding.
I actually had a story in mind where Christ comes back to Earth as a zombie and starts eating people, biting them, turning them into converters. And by the end, you just have a bunch of zombies in a church grunting their hymns.
So I got a list a mile long today, so I just wanted to stop in and say hello. Carry on. Okay. Do the thing,
Margaret.
We are doing wonderfully. We were just talking about things that you probably shouldn't know about, but we are open to any topic. So I find it very interesting that you hopped in on a pagan witches stream. So I think the conversations will become very interesting.
Well, I have some water here if you want to make it into wine. I have a long night ahead of me. The stronger, the better. The
stronger, the better. Praise your soul, praise this chat. Oh, that's very sweet. Also, lol. At least you're a non-Christian among mostly non-Christians. Yeah. Also, thank you.
Aw. It's nice, Jesus. It ain't the wrathful one.
Also, RC, my hubby, is from Indiana, about an hour outside Chicago.
I'm guessing that'd probably be near like the South Bend area, or I don't. I've been all over that place. I've lived in Northwest Indiana for a while. I've hung out in Purdue.
Right on. We are all atheists, in fact.
I thought we're all
I
gods.
have to hawk into today's list and then make lunch at some point. Do more random chats. Just it's fun. All right. See you later, Ava. Some people are atheist about like 4K gods, and some are about 4K gods. Yeah.
I like to consider myself an omnitheist. It can all be possible. We can have an underworld. We can have a hell. We can have nothing. Pick your purgatory.
Pick your purgatory. I grew up as a Buddhist. I'm third generation. So like our concept of hell is very different from the Christian concept of hell, and heaven is here and now and what we make of it. So like enlightenment is, I suppose, heaven to us, right? So like, gaining wisdom through obstacles and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, the point isn't achieving it. It's, getting there as often as possible, trying to get better habits, keep that going. You don't just hold nirvana forever.
Also, I appreciate whiskey. I get it.
What about bourbon?
What about bourbon?
I like whiskey, but bourbon's better.
Bourbon is quite delicious. I was lucky enough to have bourbon in Louisville, Kentucky, and that was the place to do it, for sure.
It is. I've had it there too.
And I'll be going back in consulted the hubby. Apparently we live just northwest of West Lafayette.
Yep. I know exactly where he was at. I probably drove through the town.
Oh, how's it going? Hey, distraction Olympics and house. Thankfully, I'm the queen of working distractions. We are not working today. We are full of distractions as well. So welcome to the club.
I'm a walking distraction.
I keep picking up my cup and sipping from it like it has water in it still, and it does not.
Definitely no whiskey.
Definitely no whiskey. And I think I have like the tiniest bit of vodka left.
Vodka.
Which means that's my drink of choice is vodka. But I think someone was drinking it and then decided not to finish it. So they left like this much. And I'm like, alcohol like evaporates, but not like that.
Yeah, well, I've had plenty of times that there was a little bit left over after a blackout, and then I just wake up the next day, finish it, and go get the next one.
Mm-hmm. Do you want time before you hold off to work?
Well, I'm pretty much ready. I just got a few minutes, 5 minutes, so I still have another hour.
Okay. Just double checking.
I guess 55 minutes from now.
55 minutes.
My work clothes are set out. I just got to literally jump into them, and I'm out the door.
Rensselaer.
Wow. I don't know the name of that. That's the cool name of the town, though.
That's a cool name. I don't know where that is, but cool.
I want to hear all the mispronunciations from it.
All right.
So back to barbecue. No. So you guys, all right? So barbecue. Anything else that's special to that area?
Seafood.
Yeah.
Seafood is great. Not necessarily in DC proper, but like world cuisine is easy to find in the DC area.
Yeah. Same here.
So,
As you can imagine, there's a lot of freshwater fish.
yeah. Whereas we're pulling everything from the Atlantic. Unless you're getting catfish, which is different.
Well, I'm just trying to think of that big disgusting lake with how many bodies are in it and all the canals and how many bodies are in that. I just don't know if I want to eat or drink anything of it. You know, that's why, like, anytime I'm pouring a glass of water, I'm like, oh, I need a filter.
Yeah. Yes.
Probably got some like Prohibition era skeletal matter in my drink right now.
Oh, Rensselaer is the correct pronunciation, apparently.
Rensselaer. What kind of name is that? Rensselaer.
French?
Yeah.
Mark?
There's a lot of weird names in Indiana. I know we got a lot of weird names in Illinois too, but you know, just driving not as bad as Michigan. And there's actually a city called Hell in Michigan.
Yes, there is in Virginia as well.
Awesome.
Let's see. Conversation starters. Have you done anything exciting lately?
Depends on what you find exciting.
What do you find exciting? None of it?
Well, I finally rearranged my mic stand the way I like it because I kind of threw it together the last minute because I procrastinate to the point where I didn't set up my mic till like 20 minutes before I had to use it to do a voice chat. And it just came out horrible looking. And I was basically holding it up the whole time and I've just been lazy about fixing it. And I got it corked out to my likings. That was an exciting, productive moment. I guess I don't really get hit with stories like an idea like right away. It builds off of one idea and off. Usually my ideas start with it'd be really funny if. It shows you my sense of humor, but also like it was one of the few times where just everything clacked together into place. The same thing happened with my graphic novel. It was like getting hit with a thunderbolt, and I started spewing out because the next day I went on Shannon's stream and just started firing out the words. I think I got like almost 1,000 words in that one stream.
Oh wow!
I've never done that. Well, I was outlining too, so I'm just barfing ideas, not like trying to structure anything.
Right, for sure. Yes, Blurt. I know you're hungry. Also, hey Heather, how's it going? Let's see what else.
What about you? Other than the dancing thing?
Probably getting that gig yesterday. That was probably the most exciting thing. Last weekend, I went to Wilmington, North Carolina, and performed there. That was pretty good. And probably did my best performance yet. I feel pretty good about that.
How long have you been dancing for?
23 years. Going on 24.
Did you start off with a particular style or did it evolve into something?
I started with ATS, which is American Tribal Style. It is improvisational kind of style and very, very tribal. And tribal has become kind of like a G word, kind of like the G word. And so now I am a fusion dancer. So I learn from as many teachers as possible. So I don't care what kind of style they do, I will learn something.
That's awesome. Like I got rhythm, but I just never really cared enough to dance. It's never been like, if I'm really in the moment, maybe, and I probably look dumb and awkward as hell. But if I'm up to that point, I don't give a shit. Say something, especially after a few drinks. That's when we're all dancers.
Oh, French Norman ancestry. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm a walking distraction would make a great line for a book. He could turn water into whiskey and was a walking distraction. I like it.
That's actually a good idea.
I really like that.
Say like Christ comes back and it turns out he wasn't the son of Jehovah, he was the son of Dionysus. Let's party started. Hallelujah.
Just published my book with 100 dance prompts. Ooh,
Nice.
hook me up. Are you a dance prompts? Ooh. You are not. Here is a wrench. Feel free to post the link to your book, and perhaps I will buy it. Feel free to use it. I will. Currently, I am doing the 12 Days of Belly Dance Christmas with Sahira, which is super fun. Tonight at 8:30, she's doing a Zoom class covering all the stuff that we did this week, which I'm kind of here for. Also, wrench. Also, thank you all.
Wrench.
Do you have a wrench?
I don't know. Do I?
You do not. Here is a wrench.
I'm gray in a sea of blue. Yay, add it to the collection. Thank you. I will be irresponsible with it.
Sorry, I'm doing a million things.
So
if you didn't have the job you have now, what would you do? What would you do? What would you do?
Well, if I can write for a living, that'd be nice. I guess I'd want to get more involved in, say, like, comic book business. I don't know about so much film anymore because just that whole business is shady on its own. But
comics are too, but in a different way.
Yeah, I just like learn more. There we go. That would be my job. Learn more things, get more experience, try to find a way to make money off of it.
Yeah, I got you. I monetize my hobbies. So at this juncture, I would probably go back to W-2 land and work for the government again. Which sucks because that means no drugs, no alcohol, no, just be a schmuck.
Man, it's the government. Yeah. I'm still trying to think of that. I went to comics. That's what the mode I've been in, even when I was revising my novella, because that's also what I've been reading a lot of. But I don't know. I mean, like maybe like not advertising so much, but like helping promote, the people around me, trying to, find ways to get their stuff off the ground and make a job out of it.
If you can post a link in the chat, that would be swell. But do that. Post a link, please. I'm sure I could search for you, but thank you for the quick lowdown of your book. And I need to have more solid concepts with my dances. I'm just now coming up with solid concepts.
What's the biggest place you ever danced at?
Oh, the thing is what's the biggest place? Actually, the biggest place I'm gonna dance at is this New Year's Eve thing. Penzik. I dance at Penzik, and that is a 10,000 person, 20,000 person, like city, medieval city.
That's awesome.
So I'm kind of hype about New Year's Eve because that'll be the second biggest thing that I've ever performed at.
It's like I'm trying to imagine what that'd be like in front of such a huge crowd. Like I've been on stage at local events around here in front of like maybe like 500,000 people, and I've had friends in bands that have went on tour with bigger bands and stadium tours. I'm trying to imagine just looking out at 10,000 people, just that vast open space.
Yeah. I do a more folkloric thing, so I prefer to dance among the people. Like
More intimate.
yeah. My style is much more intimate.
And I think personally for me that translates into live music as well. I would take like some small little bar with a stage over, like the United Center or Soldier Field. It just kind of loses its connection a little bit, or a lot.
I am gonna search for her thing. Explore. Can I highlight this? I cannot. Explore, embrace, express. Explore, embrace. Express. It was an autocomplete. And apparently there are already reviews for it, which is cool.
Nice. Shoot me a link when you can, please.
I'm going to add this to my wish list.
Support your indies.
Indeed. I would like to look at the first 10 pages.
That's one thing I've noticed, like, everybody's coming out with shit now. Like, the past couple of years, been hunkering down and, working through the catharsis, just getting your creativity out there. And I'm seeing more and more of it. And it's really encouraging, especially with me putting new stuff out there. And it's all over the place, film, writing, comics, music. So everyone's just firing shit out. And I think 2023 is going to be like an explosive year culturally.
Oh, this is really cool. Looking at the contents and stuff. Pick 3 songs that tell a cohesive story. That's cool. I edit all my songs to be 2 minutes long. Because the average attention span is only 2 minutes. So I can be doing the most complicated or playful or whatever kind of thing, but if it's more than 2 minutes, they're going to get bored and their attention is going to go elsewhere. So, and TikTok is making it even shorter. So
unless you want to go all Gigi Allen about it. Gigi Allen, a punk singer from like the 80s and 90s, he was like the originator of like mutilating himself on stage and crazy shit like that. That'll keep their attention going for more than 2 minutes.
Oh, and there's the video. Do the thing. Video has the link in the description. Also support indie authors.
Yes.
Ooh, there's actually a second book coming, which is 100 prompts for self-portrait photography, which is awesome. Very cool. I'm actually working on a Skillshare class that is how to take a professional portrait with your cell phone. So that is slotted to come out hopefully in January, I hope. If I can manage to get a recording day before then.
Sorry, I was getting a text.
Oh, no, you're fine. Are you a cat person or a dog person?
Dog. I don't hate cats. I did have a phase where it was like, fuck cats, team dog, but cats are cool. I've met plenty of cool cats that, got along. I can't hate on them too much. So yeah. But yeah, team dog all the way.
I am team cat. I am staring at the back of one right now because he is waiting for food because it is past his lunchtime.
I think it's the affection part that I like the most personally. Yeah, you got some overly affectionate cats, but for the most part, they're kind of, on their own, doing their own thing. And some of them are a little more narcissistic than others, but, at least a dog, it's more just, yeah, this guy feeds me. I love him.
The lazy dungeon master? That's interesting. $10 to buy a digital copy, in which case I can put it on my iPad and mark it up there.
What are you reading right now?
What am I reading right now? I am reading Magpie Training from the Black Feather Mystery School by Irene Glass and Kane Dreamwalker. It's got its roots in Wicca, but it also has like Appalachian Conjure and like a bunch of other like really cool sources. Hold up, let me look at the sources. Southern Root Work. Corvid Clan Work. Labyrinth Guild of New England. Yeah. It's very good so far, and being a chaos magician, I am open to other paths of enlightenment, as it were. So like I'm having a blast with this one. I will end up doing a video that reviews the book.
I'm reading right now a book on tarot. I'm on audio, Atomic Habits. I'm finally reading Notes from Underground all the way through. I've been blowing that book off for decades, since like high school. Like I read a little bit and I'm bored, and like last time I tried reading it, I was like, oh my god, this is too depressing. It reminds me of me. And then I reading it again, and it's like it kind of reminds me less of me, but like yeah, I think I'm reading it at the right time I'm supposed to read it. And I'm also going back and reading Frank Miller's Daredevil.
Ooh, nice.
It took me 2 years to get the whole collection together. I cheated and got the first volume trade paper because there's like his debut, Frank Miller's debut, was $158, I think, and I was like $500 for the cheapest one. Like, no, I'm going with trade. And I got the single issues after that though. I also cheated again with the Man Without Fear arc and the Born Again arc, but yeah, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I got the story.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm going through that.
I was a fan of the David Mack run of Daredevil that focused on the son of the lizard. And I think Daredevil had murdered the lizard, and the son was only like 10 years old. And it's beautifully illustrated.
So how many times has the lizard died now?
A lot.
How many times have all of them died? And a clone or a amulet brought him back, or alternate universe. It's like why I kind of got off of DC and Marvel, because all the reboots and resurrections, and I don't. That's why, like, as much as Grant Morrison killing off Psylocke or Damian Wayne, it's like at least if you could kill somebody, keep them dead.
Yeah, dead stay dead would be fine.
Sometimes dead's better.
I like the idea of making characters age out, and like for instance, Psylocke was born in 1956. That would make her like in her 60s. So, like, I kind of want to write a story where she acts her age.
So you want to do Dark Knight Returns with Psylocke?
Or something.
Do it. Hell, I'd read it. Psylocke's a shit. Just do it better than, Superman Year One, or any of those like kind of stuff where they try to like mimic Frank Miller's success. I think they did a Daredevil Year One, and it was kind of
I see. One thing I encourage in the book is not to let the end result be the main focus. If you make it about getting the perfect photo, then you might find yourself disappointed. But exploring and creative, it's the process that's the art, right? So in modern art specifically, that is usually the case. You're not buying the end product. Well, you're buying the end product because the process was so interesting. Much more pleasurable journey. It's great to get good photos, of course, and when I go into my sessions, it's always first and foremost about expressing myself and not looking a certain way. Yeah. I was a wedding photographer, an event photographer in general for 7 years, and then I guess that would be 15 years now that I've been taking pictures seriously and making money at it. So my boudoir project is my most recent, and I hope to be making a book concerning boudoir, which is a horror-themed boudoir book. I spent a year basically shooting models in a horror, genre boudoir set.
that sounds cool.
Yeah.
I have actually, in the past year or so, gotten more into urban photography around here. And whenever I'm out, like especially in the more condensed part of the cities and like the downtown area, I get a little camera happy, get a little touristy looking. But I get some good pictures though. Like I post some on Instagram. I actually haven't posted shit on Instagram in a while. I gotta do something about that. But do you have a photography channel in your Discord?
I do not. Self-promo.
Yeah, because I actually have some pretty good shots, but like just out through the
Yeah, if you
city
want to share,
alleyways.
them, self-promo is pretty much it.
Cool.
Right on. Do you think you're an introvert or an extrovert? I am an ambivert.
Is that like both?
I am both of those things. I value my time alone, but I also gain spoons from other people. So I'm like, I gotta balance the time. Otherwise, I'll swing too hard one way or the other.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. Like there are times where like I have to be away from people. Like I don't want to talk to anyone. And like sometimes I got to fight against the urge to either not want to talk to anybody. Like I got to get out of my house. I can't sit here stewing all night, or otherwise, it's back negative thought patterns. Hey, why not have a drink? That's how that shit starts. But at this point, I've gotten more into like if I start doing that, get on my keyboard and clack out a little bit. But I guess the older I get, the more introverted I become, where I'm just get more comfortable with my own company. But to remind myself, hey, I got to get out once in a while and mingle, and not to mention, there's usually a lot of stuff going on. I got a friend DJing here this one weekend, or a band playing here this other weekend. It's like I have no excuse if I ever want to go out anywhere.
I see. Oh, hold on. There's a whole conversation going on here.
Where did Jesus go?
I think he dropped out.
Ah, he banned us again. Went to find that home.
One thing I encourage in the book is not to let the end result be the main focus. I did that one. Yep. A much more pleasurable journey. It's great to get good photos, of course, but when I go into my sessions, it's always first and foremost about expressing myself and not looking a certain way. Oh yeah, for sure. I'm just too, self-critical. I too am self-critical. I need some warm-up time, and then my last like 5 pictures are usually the best. Okay, I need to feed this cat. I will be right back.
I will be right here.
Okay.
As the feeding commences, so how's everyone doing down there in the chat? I guess when it comes to introverted, extroverted, it all depends on the individual. I mean, also their point in life and their mindset. Do I really want to go out like, oh, I'm depressed, sit home, stew about it, or I want to go out and drag everyone else with me? You could always be that, sit at home where it's not really that healthy, or go out and be a bummer around your friends. Be Mr. Negativity. I guess, how you, handle it, react, and I don't know. It's definitely a complicated one. At least it's been complicated for me. Drinking coffee and not getting work done. Nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you got to take a day off. I think I'm good on 1 cup of coffee, though. Maybe have one later because it's going to be a late night, but I'll probably just like slam down a Mountain Dew. Something with a lot of sugar in it. You're not antisocial, you're selectively social. I get that too. And yeah, like you got to think of like whose company do you want to keep, the people you draw around you too. Because you're miserable, you bring miserable people around you, you're not going to want to hang out with them. You're going to drag each other down the whole time. But I guess I'd say I'm more antisocial than I am, like non-people. Take them in small spurts. Yeah, I'm with you on that, Billy. When I hit my social wall, like, you're not going to hear from me for about a month or two. It's like, I don't want to talk to anybody. You text me and just make it short and sweet. It better be important. And that happens a lot, like when I go to horror conventions. That's why, like, I don't do the whole weekend thing, which is a lot of it around here. I'll do like one day, get there, meet who I want to meet, check out the merch, get the hell out before the crowd gets there. Because Saturday's the craziest. There's, the shoulder-to-shoulder people. And I remember one time, my first convention, actually, I did 3 days in a row. Got the whole VIP, the works, all that. By halfway through day number 2, I had to get out of there. I was going to lose my mind. Just, walking in circles around a convention hall through a sea of humanity, all like sweating and breathing, and they've been wearing the same costume all fucking day. And you see about 8 billion Art the Clowns from Terrifier. And yes, you got to make sure how you waste your energy, and the people you're around, the things you're doing, your thoughts too. Like where you hang your emotions, where you hang your anger, the things you get angry about, the things you react about. And I think Sako's baking a cake for her cat, or a chicken or something. If it was a dog, you just have to pour the stuff in a bowl, but hey, some animals are a little more high maintenance than others, I guess. And she's back.
And I'm back.
I was entertaining people while you were gone.
Oh, good. Let's see here. Only so much time and energy. You love my channel. Why? Because
cool.
of random chats? What is the deal? Probably fighting the tin and also getting water and also using the restroom and, you know, like taking a quick, lightning quick break. Very cool. Anyone looking for some entertainment today and had a good laugh, check out the Florida Stretch video on my channel. I must have looked like a maniac editing that video as I sat alone in a dark room cackling. Nice.
I don't think everybody lives in Florida.
My parents are in Florida on the west side of the state. So it's equal time to Tampa and equal time to Orlando.
It's funny because like 3 of my closest friends live in Florida, and each on separate sides of the state. You got the northwestern part. You got my one friend in Orlando, and then my one friend down in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, right on.
And I'm still not.
Oh, how is your friend in Fort Lauderdale? They got hit really hard.
She's all right.
Good.
Actually, another horror author.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I met her at the, Horror Writers Association. One of the few people that I even bothered reach out to her. Her name's Ari Dressler, and she has some. He's producing her own stuff, too. Indie, Amazon, all that jazz. Gave up on trad with me, and she's actually really fucking good too. Like when it comes to like descriptions and pacing, and I think she's personally better than me, but she would disagree.
Don't live in Florida, actually. I had left a comment one day saying I was getting on the Florida Stretch, and autocorrect changed it to Florida Stretch. Someone dared me to make a video about the non-existent Florida Stretch. It actually turned out hilarious. I will scope it out. My phone is like, check TikTok. Siri suggestion, check TikTok.
Well, TikTok was made for people that, with short attention spans. That's why I don't even mess with it. Those little 1 minute, 2 minute videos. I know I will be on that all day.
It's 15 seconds to 10 minutes.
Ugh. No, I see disaster when I know it.
Actually, almost got a concussion when I threw my head back and came out about a quarter of an inch from the shelf next to me.
Ow.
Woo. That's spoopy. And Des prefers longer videos as well. Did get something done during the conversation, though. One important DM to the coordinator of the Neurodivergent Publishing Conference. I'm on the speakers list. It's an awesome brand new conference. During the sprints that we did 2 hours ago, I actually paid for my ticket for Imaginarium, which is a writers conference, and I will be on the panels for that as well. I don't know which panels I'm on. I don't know which topics I'm discussing, but I will figure it out.
Is that gonna be by you?
No, it's in Louisville, Kentucky.
When?
July sometime. Here, I think I still have it open.
Louisville's like 5 hours away from me. Well, I mean, probably the way I take it, because whenever I go down that way, I'm going to like Alabama, Georgia, Florida. But yeah, I'd go straight through Louisville.
Right on. Going over the mountains is the hard part for me.
Oh yeah. I got relatives up in the Smoky Mountains. I've been up there before.
Enter the imaginarium.com.
That's cool though. You're gonna be on a panel.
Not just a panel, but odds are very good. I said I couldn't do panels on Sunday because that means we can't leave when we want to leave. We gotta leave. Be ready to leave after the panel, which was more stressful than it needed to be. So I kind of want to situate a thing where we hang out for another day or two. You know, enjoy the city, enjoy the bourbon, enjoy the hot browns. You know, like.
I've seen like horror writers at conventions with their tables and all that. People meeting them. Like, I don't know if it's social anxiety. I just can't imagine strangers walking up to me all fucking day, wanting to shake my hand, do all that shit. It's just, I can't imagine how like big people do that. Like, you know, with like lines of faces all day.
I do. So I have been invited to have a table. I don't have $165 to do it right now, but I might after the next check I receive, which will be next week. Fingers crossed that I will be able to afford a table. I might have to ask if I can split it with my husband. So I can make money at the con as well. That would be nice.
We'll see what happens in July. Maybe I'll make a trip down there and scatter the place with flyers like I did that horror con a few weeks ago.
That'd be sweet.
And hey, I don't have a face. Can't link it to me. I don't know what you're talking about, sir. I don't know where that flyer came. Fuck off me.
I don't know where that came from.
My face, dude.
Guests and panelists. I don't know if they've added me or not.
Do you know who else is gonna be there?
Huh?
Do you know who else is going to be there? Like anybody I know?
They're mostly like they're all writers, right? William Joseph Roberts is going to be there. James Sabata, Stephen Shrewsbury.
Well, my one buddy, Curtis Lawson, he's a horror writer. He tries to hit up at like every single convention. He's always trying to get me to go and shit. He's like, yeah, no, man, people. But he likes all that. He likes, you know, trying to get all the panels, all the tension on him. But he's a good guy. He's a good writer. But yeah, it's just not me.
Not added me yet. There's also an awards ceremony called the Imagine Awards. And I'm thinking about submitting it's a horror book, dude. Is there a horror? Nope, there is not a horror thing. Oh, there it is. Best horror novel and best short story have been doubled together in the formatting, which means their formatter needed to do the things.
Yeah, I think I'll slowly, you know, work my way to those kind of things. Like, I'm like, other than, you know,
go for fun first, and then consider what it's like to work there.
Okay.
You know.
Got your water?
I do.
And it's not whiskey. That Jesus was a sham. What are your plans for the rest of the day?
I don't have any. I will probably I will work on my tarot cards for that video game thing. That is probably what I will do for the rest of the day.
Hey, it's something.
Maybe clean the house more.
Yeah, I need to do that sometime soon. I've been busy.
Let's see. Might be able to go to Multiverse in Atlanta. I go to Prog Power in Atlanta. I love the hell out of it. I have been invited to do an art workshop, the one I did at Necronomicon. Woot! Congratulations.
I've
Awesome,
always wanted to go
awesome.
to
That
that.
is a great feeling to be invited to come and like talk about the things you know about. Like, that's a great feeling.
Getting paid to geek out.
If you're paid. Sometimes they'll offer you a free ticket, you know. So in that regard, I guess they pay you.
Yeah, that's. I guess they let you tote your merch too. Hopefully.
One last push. In the link below is, or in the link below, in the description below, there is a link to my Kickstarter. There are only, you know, there are 2 days left. It drops dead at 5 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. So TikTok, and hopefully I will. I don't know. It's going to take a miracle to actually meet my goal this time around.
So there's no coincidence that Jesus popped in for a little bit earlier. We need a little divine intervention, some Deus Ex Machina.
Deus Ex Machina. The lady who runs the art show. Right on. The event coordinator was looking for fire dancers, so I was like, I'm a fire dancer. I've been doing it for a long time. And they were like, great, come to the safety meetings and sign the waiver, and we'll talk. And I was like, cool.
Now, you said that like most dances are 2 minutes long. Is there like a longest recorded dance for one individual?
I don't usually dancers are hired for hours at a time. So like if you're doing like a restaurant sort of deal, it might be 45 minutes to an hour. If you're the average belly dance show is anywhere between 45 minutes to like 3 hours. If you're dancing at the Ren Fair, for instance, you're dancing all day long. I don't know. I don't know if there's like a record for it.
Well, it also depends on the dance. You know, like Ren Fair dancing compared to like, you know, just like break
Oh, I'm
dancing.
talking about belly dancing specifically.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, belly dancing is probably right for that. But I'm thinking of like hour-long drum solos and just how crazy can someone get dancing for like hours and hours on end. I know there's heavy dance-a-thons out there.
There are dance-a-thons. The average drum solo that professionals tend to do are like 30 minutes, and that's more energy than I've got.
That's a lot of cardio.
That's a lot of cardio. Tabla is hard.
But at the same time, depends on the music too. Are you John Bonham? Or are you the guy from Morbid Angel just blasting for 5 minutes straight in a song?
Well, that's what I mean regarding tabla. Tabla is like the style of drum is very improvisational. So the dancer has to know the rhythm, the basic rhythm first, and then you can embellish upon the basics, beyond that.
I wanted to learn drums, but I had learned guitar, and my parents were like, "You're loud enough with that. You're not getting a fucking drum set."
I wish they reimbursed me for my supply costs for an art workshop. They never do. Not around here anyway. Granted, I don't really do cons around here anymore. Partly because I lose money when I go out.
I do
I
want to
think
check out
next year, maybe. Next year I will probably start doing cons again.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing more networking because there's two for sure next year. You know, you got the with horror. You got the flashback weekend, which my friends run, and that's like with the biggest people. You know, it's usually like the Robert Englands and the Kane Hodders, and Sven Gooley's there. He does his costume competition every Saturday, or the second day of the year. And since I know the people, I'm gonna be a little less shameless about my plugging, because they're like, go ahead, because they know I've been writing for a while, and you know, I'm just like, I'm gonna be respectful, but they're gonna be flyers every fucking weird by the end of that weekend. Usually push broom, which is my flyers going across the floor.
Such is life.
Sic vid est.
All right. Well, if you liked this video at any point, I encourage you to hit the like button if you haven't already. And if you want to find RC Scott on the internet, you pretty much Google his name and Amazon will pop up. And do you have a website?
I do not, but I just got a link tree with all my stuff on it. And
oh, sweet.
I know, I finally did that shit. And I also got my stories on there, and I went from, what was it, books to read instead of the Amazon link, because you can get it overseas and it bypasses all that Amazon US shit.
Right.
But yeah, exactly. I can be found on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, which I need to post more on, not TikTok. And pretty soon, YouTube. I'm going to start doing actually a lot more stuff like this, you know, just chat. I'm going to at least do one sprint a week because I need that one day of accountability. But yeah, I'm kind of getting that together, learning video editing at a slow pace. So yeah, that's me.
Very cool. If you are interested, not you, but the populace is interested in videos that, you know, are more like this chatty thing and sprints and stuff like that, you might want to subscribe and maybe even ring that bell on the off chance that YouTube actually notifies you when I go live. And we will catch you guys on the flip side.
Stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated.